Can you tell me about a time that you realized that soft doesn't mean weak?
I can. I got a horse, Martyr, when I was like in my 19 or 20, and I went to Europe, and the Burns bought him for me for $12,000, and he was a lovely horse, but his training, had been ridden by a really amateur before, and he was incredibly opinionated, and he would put his head up so high that I could see his nostrils and then just take off with me. And in actuality, I thought that I just come off my first Olympics thinking that I was a superstar and everything, because I rode in the Olympics, and very little consciousness of that. So what? Right? You rode in the Olympics, but how well did you do? What? Right? And so it was very, very humbling for me to understand that I couldn't manhandle him or just force him to do it, because when he'd had enough, he'd had enough. And I remember one day and he just pulled me out of the saddle, even with a double bridle on. And I remember I was training at Jimmy Day's place. He started doing eventing, so I was training him in dressage. And so the horse was there, and so I was in the jumper ring trying to do suppling work with him in that. And then I pushed a bridge too far, tried to bend him, he took off. And there was a 3-foot fence or 3.5-foot fence around the whole jumping ring. And he took off with me towards the barn. I could only see his nostrils. He jumped, I don't know even how he saw the fence. He jumped the fence, and they had a horse swimming pool, it was like a pond, and that had a float in the middle of it, and then they would just put the halter on and then a pole out, and they would swim it around. Then they put the ramp up, and they'd swim it around that thing. So he was back, he got to the door, and I thought, you are not taking me through this door. And so I didn't give, and so he started flying backwards towards the swimming pool pond. And I thought, no way, he's not that dumb. But he was that smart, because he reared and then fell backwards into the pond with me on him. And I thought, strong didn't work, and I'm not that strong anyway, because he already had pulled me out of the saddle. And so then I had to rethink that. So then I thought, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I thought, okay, drown you bugger. But because there was just a ramp, like a ramp into the pond, but then it was like straight walls. And then I thought, no, I can't do that. So, and plus I was trying to find which way was up. And luckily I was riding in chaps and paddock boots at the time, it was in the summer. And so I could come up to the top, and then I got out, and then he was struggling, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So then I had to grab him and bring him around to where the ramp was to get out. So then I thought, okay, you're not that smart, you're not that good, you're not that talented, so how are you going to make this horse work for you? And then I started with a whole different idea of trying to ride with a softness, definite, clean, the way I had been trained, and then that's what changed the whole thing. Like, be smart, be soft, and not that there are moments you have to really bend a horse, but they have to be able to do what you're asking. They have to understand to do what you're asking to be able to be soft, not strong.